All right. So now we're going to talk about, and I should have said this a long time ago, but hopefully it's not a fundamental concept that's been lost on you. Why do we care about insulin? Okay. Insulin is physiologically responsible for gaining weight and maintaining weight. If you can't control your insulin, you can't control these two things. So at the basic level, control your insulin, stop the weight gain, possibly reverse it, and usually so. But that is at the fundamental core. Now, everything else that goes along with that metabolic changes, okay, what do doctors tell you? You have elevated blood pressure, you need to lose weight. Your cholesterol is not good, you should probably try to lose weight. But we've never actually been able to figure out what that connection is between losing weight and changing people's cholesterol. It's just kind of been a black box. Yeah, do this, don't know what happens, maybe we get this result. Okay, and eventually we're going to talk about that as well. But at the fundamental basics is control your insulin, control your weight, okay? And as you've been learning, you control a lot of other things. Now we're going to talk about something else with fructose, going back to it. Now, there's a reason, very likely, I would be strongly shocked if all the millions of dollars that are put into food research and food industry that they don't know what they're doing, okay? There's a reason why high fructose corn syrup is in everything, okay? And that they're even currently trying to change the name of it through the FDA so it just says natural fructose, because now people are cued into only looking for high fructose corn syrup, but really it doesn't matter if it's that or if it's a apple or a banana or grapes, it's still not good. We still have the wrong ratios in what we should be consuming, okay? So back to fructose. So we talked about how basically this cell signaling with the leptin resistance in the face of fructose will actually tell your cells at the individual cellular units to stop and decrease the production of mitochondria or decrease the number, okay? Talk about how this probably works well for a hibernating bear, but this does not work well for us, okay? So more interestingly, fructose does something very bizarre to our brain in the path of signaling, okay? Fructose does a dopamine surge, okay? It's an increased symbol there, okay? To our brain. Why do we care about that? Dopamine is the same neurotransmitter that we get hits when people unfortunately have addictions. Doesn't matter, heroin, cocaine, you name it. That is the same surge neurotransmitter. So what does that mean? That means that we literally physiologically are addicted to fructose, okay? Think that over again and all the stuff that is it, all the foods that it's in. So for us to feel good, everybody talks about like a carbohydrate high, okay, with some serotonin bump. More interestingly is this dopamine bump, okay? And if you don't think that this is a powerful and real thing, when I was in my residency and we would do circumcisions on newborn baby boys, here you have this small human being who is naive to any type of sugar. And before we would do the circumcision, we'd do 2 little nerve blocks, and then out would come this little container that looked like apple juice. You have the little tinfoil lid, and you'd peel it off, and you'd dip the pacifier into this water, sugar water, and then give it to the baby, okay? And when I would ask my attendings, why do we do this? Like, what is this? What is that, A? And then how does it work? The answer I got was, well, it helps them, they don't cry as much. Now, no offense to them, I don't think that they understood completely what was happening. So here you have this small little human being who is completely sugar naive, and no kidding, it's getting a massive dopamine surge to help decrease its pain. If the nerve block doesn't, the baby can't tell you if you can feel something or not, but yeah, and they didn't cry. You really need to think about that. And if a baby is given the choice between fructose solution, fructose water, and fresh breast milk, it will choose the fructose, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that one drop and they became addicted, but they did get this surge and they liked it. As human beings, we are very bizarre mammals that have a very unique sweet receptor that no other mammal has. We are somewhat predestined for this addiction, and now we are in the middle of this plague. And the bad part is that we've been gamed, okay? So it's in everything. We're all addicted. So this dopamine thing matters because when somebody, it's important as we start talking about how to fix this stuff, when people who are raised in America start changing their nutrition profile, they may not feel well initially, okay? And sometimes it can be kind of rough. And you've heard about sugar withdrawal and caffeine withdrawal and these things. The sugar withdrawal should not be minimized, okay? So in the first 3 or 4 days when people are changing their nutrition, they really may feel like they are withdrawing, okay? They may feel like crap. They may have a headache, you name it. It's not because we're doing something to change their body towards something abnormal, which is what everybody thinks. I feel bad thereby. I must be doing something harmful to my body, so I must go back to what I was doing before. It's not true, okay? This is very important, okay? So in just a moment, let's go ahead and talk about it right now, actually. Going along with, actually, we'll talk about it in a moment. Okay, so now we know not only are we gaining weight, we are chronically hungry, we are sending a signal to our brain, to our body, excuse me, to create chronic fatigue, and now we are addicted to anything. Fructose is the worst, but this whole insulin-resistant picture, pre-diabetes, diabetes, it's all the same, okay? Fructose is just the worst, all right? And there's a reason why high fructose corn syrup is not accidentally implanted in every damn thing that we can eat, all right? So stay tuned, we'll talk some more.